Okay, everybody, thank you for joining me, or continuing on to listen to the Colonial podcast. This is a little extra I've decided to do. It's something that I've been trying to get organised for the last few weeks, but it's been a wee bit difficult to get it all done over Christmas and New Year. But I'm really happy to be joined today by a couple of gentlemen who have been involved in trying to help a wee guy out who some of you may know. You might have seen him on Twitter. It's Walk with Shay, a wee boy with cerebral palsy, and he's been supported by a fantastic team. As always, the Celtic family come to the fore to help those who need the help. So today I'm joined by Andrew Fisher and Marc Martin. Guys, first of all, thanks for taking the time to join me.
No problem. Good to meet you, Ian.
Yeah, good morning.
Aye, good evening. It's eight.
Good evening.
It's 8:22 for me. It's a stark contrast to the podcast I did earlier today. Ended up a slight chaos. We had to cut it short, and I was going to bring you guys in on the podcast, but I think it was probably best that we keep it nice and civil. This is much more civilised affair. So to move swiftly on, because I know it's early in the morning, you will probably be wanting to head off fairly soon. Just give us a little bit of background on what's happening with Walk with Shay and the family, and what you're trying to achieve for him. If you can do that, would be fantastic.
Shay McGinley, as we said, Ian, he's a 3-year-old toddler with cerebral palsy. He suffered brain damage when he was born. We picked up with Shay in August 2014, just with his great uncle posting just a line on Celtic Quick News asking for help, and we got in contact with the family. And since then, in the background, we've been raising money to help him for his treatment. He needs treatment which isn't available in NHS, and currently it was advanced biomechanical rehabilitation. We'll be bringing Belgian doctors, and that costs about £6,000 a year. I've been working. Andy came on board very, very quickly with a few other guys, and the campaign sort of morphed into Walk with Shay. And the reason we did that to support the family who have their own little campaign was we had a couple of ideas which I think I'll let Andy jump onto and in the background, and we wanted to sort of raise some money for the family and give them a little nest egg. It has developed a little bit because as you get into this, the family's very young. You know, you're now talking 24 and 25. So I first met them 21, 22. You start to realise they need a bit more, and it's not just the treatment. So we're here to support the family, and so far to date, we've raised under Walk with Shay, we've raised since October £5,000. Prior to that, we've raised £11,000 for the family. Okay. So that's towards their treatment. Okay,
and that's so with I know cerebral palsy, it's a movement or a motor disorder. Obviously it can with the type of treatment he needs, it's the expenses, I would imagine, are either ongoing or depending on the specialised treatment. It can change from moment to moment. So the current target you've got for his treatment is what's the amount we're trying to get for Shay at the moment?
It's difficult. We talked about maybe another £10,000 or £20,000, and the way we sort of worked that out was we based it on, I don't know if you've ever seen the young superstar Bailey Matthews, the little kid that walked to triathlon, and he had cerebral palsy and he fell down, and he was on Sports Personality of the Year. Well, he can walk. He's 8 years old. People should watch that clip, by the way, and to Google it. So that's the ultimate to get them to walk. So we guessed about £6,000 a year between the ages of 3 and 8. So that's potentially up to 30,000. Right. Who knows? We've recently just changed the family's recently just changed the treatment as we move on to the next staging. So as that changes, and we'll know over the next month more, then so does the cost, either up or down.
Right. Okay. I mean, a lot of the listeners and a lot of the people out there might not know a lot about cerebral palsy, how it affects the children, how it affects the families. I mean, I think we talked a wee bit before we came on to record. We talked about Oscar Knox and any illness, whether it's cancer or whether it's any life-threatening issue, could be to do with the kidneys or whatever else. It's something that everybody tries to rally around, but I don't think people are often aware of how it can actually impact the family. I mean, obviously the child is affected, but it can impact the parents, and it can impact the grandparents. It can impact. It has. You're talking about a small child, but the kind of, not the collateral damage, but the damage, the kind of effect that it has goes outwards through a whole family and even through a community. So it'd be interesting just to get a wee bit about the disease itself, and how the family are coping and stuff like that. Would be great for people to hear.
Yeah, I'll do this wee bit, Andy, then I'm going to let you take over on the sort of campaign side. I mean, Ian, we've got 3 goals for Shay, and it's effectively to be able to eat, to talk, and to walk. Right. And if you take it back to a baby, everybody's got kids around them, whether it's their kids, their families, kids, their relatives, and you take it through a baby stage. A baby wants to. The first thing you want to do, a baby's hold its head. Its head's got to be able to be strong enough to hold itself, and then it's to sit up, and then crawl, and then stand, and then eventually walk. What cerebral palsy does, in my mind, I'm not qualified, is it slows that process down. So Shay's got no skeletal structure, so his head just flops to the side. Right. His total body is sort of crashed in. So what the treatment does, it's physiotherapy, it's advanced physiotherapy. It actually creates a structure for his body. So it starts to give him he's allowed to, he can hold his head up. And then eventually he can start eating little foods. I mean, at the minute he still gets a lot of the liquids fed into him, but now he can take, because of the treatment, he can now actually take some taster foods like yogurt and soup. The other thing you mentioned at the family is, in the first year when Shay was in a hospital, and he's now at home. The family lives in Ladywell in Livingston, and West Lothian. Okay. There was never a night they could go by without sleeping. Now they can have a peaceful night's sleep, if that's at all possible. Yeah. So you imagine that on the pressure of the family. Shay's obviously wheelchair bound, and it's incredible to do that alone without having to try to raise some money, because there's no support for it.
I mean, it's hard enough being a young parent looking after kids as it is, but to have that, and then to have the stress, to go through the stress of giving birth to a child, knowing that, or finding out that you've got to go through that, is a nightmare in itself. And then you've got the ongoing day-to-day stuff that everybody's got to do. You've got to go to work, you've got to pay the bills, you've got to do all this sort of stuff, and we take these things for granted when we've got healthy children. So that sort of stuff, it must be very tiring for them.
The pregnancy was perfectly healthy, and when there was complications at the birth, and he suffered a lack of oxygen, which caused the brain damage, and hence cerebral palsy. So that was terrible. But the family are lovely. I mean, they're totally amazing. They're just young kids. They get when I first got to meet them, which was back in August 2014, and we introduced ourselves, because we're complete strangers, and they're thinking, hang on, who's these strangers coming to help us? And the way we introduced ourselves was like, we helped out in the Oscar Knox campaign, and they were big supporters of the Oscar Knox campaign. Brilliant. So all of a sudden you managed to gel, and they were already doing their own fundraising, which was a big thing with the Oscars parents. You've got to spend the time with your kids, but you've got to then go out and do masses of fundraising yourself. And what we tried to say to them was, we're here to help you, so you can relax a wee bit. But I was with them last weekend, and Mary's like expecting, and she's got wee Shay's got a little sister coming in 8 weeks, but they're already talking about doing further fundraising themselves. So there's not a give me. They're totally overwhelmed and stunned with the support that they're getting from the Celtic family.
Yeah. That's it's as I said, it's I spent a bit of time in a children's hospital myself with my little boy, and I've experienced just a wee bit of it. I know I can't imagine what it's like to be going through what they're going through, but I'm glad to know that they've got another baby on the way. That's good news. So Andrew, in terms of sorry, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say I think it's important for the family that they know that there's a support network out with the clinical people that are helping them. If you understand, the doctors and nurses, etc. I think that gives them. I think that must be an enormous thing from a psychological perspective as well, because they know it's not just the doctors and nurses and their immediate family. There's a whole community that's behind them, and I think that's a massive thing, just to keep them in the right frame of mind. It must be. I can't imagine what they're going through. Like, none of us can, because we've never. Well, we're fortunate enough that probably none of us have had such a severe ailment condition to have to deal with.
No, I thought it's really hard for people to get their head around. I mean, most people, even when my little boy was born with a condition, and I think everybody, you just take having kids for granted. It's just like you just knock out a couple of kids and get on with the process, and that's what most people do. You don't. That's just life. It's like, right, you're having a kid, great, blah blah blah. You get ready and you prepare for. You get the room ready and you go through all the sleepless nights when they're born. And people don't. We knew so many couples and so many families, and then it can happen to you or somebody, and it's a completely different world. You the feeling of helplessness that you can have as a parent, because it's your child, and your instinct as a parent is that you want to fix it, but you're in the hands of doctors, you're in the hands of specialists, you're in the hands of experts, and you're waiting on the test results. You're waiting on, you're waiting. It's not like you go to the hospital and they'll tell you what they're going to do. You've got to go and get a test, and then you've got to wait days or weeks to find out what's going to happen next. And the waiting is bad enough in itself. And then, so my heart goes out to them. It really does. I've got to say, it's. I can't imagine what they've been through, but it certainly sounds like they've got the best people around them. And then, I don't want to roll out a cliche, but the Celtic family it seems to step up to the mark every time I see something like this. People just go out of their way to help. So fantastic.
Definitely.
But
I think the hard thing here is that there's a lack of support from not going into a political debate at all, but there appears to be a lack of support from the infrastructure and the health side. They'll do the basics, but there's no progression for Shay, and that's where you're having to go out and find. The families had to go out and find this specialised treatment, and obviously we try and help them as well with the funds and also research, but I think that makes it even harder.
Yeah. Okay. So, in terms of obviously, we're not talking about the wealthiest of people. That if you're in a fortunate position to be extremely wealthy, this treatment isn't cheap. We all know that a lot of the specialised treatment for these sorts of conditions does cost money, and the cost can be ongoing, even just to maintain a level of health, a level of treatment. So that in itself is going to be very difficult to upkeep. But I mean, what kind of in terms of the infrastructure? I mean, I guess they're in the NHS. That's where they are. They're in the hands of the National Health Service. That's where they are.
Yes, but that doesn't provide. All that does is maybe gives them a bit of physiotherapy. But what the family have told me is when she has to go a bit through the physiotherapy, then if she looks a little bit distressed or painful, NHS backs off straight away. Well, sometimes there has to be a little bit of discomfort, can I say, to progress. So the NHS just say, right, well, we don't support any of this additional therapy. So that's where you have to go out and look for the specialised treatments. And unfortunately, in some cases, and in this one it's the case, it's not supported. So therefore it has to be funded privately by the family and friends.
Okay, and the treatment is normally quite often they have to go abroad, or is that? No.
At the minute, the first 2 years treatment was Belgium doctors would fly in to the UK. Would you believe?
Right. Wow.
And they would have 3 sessions a year, and it was based in the Holiday Inn in Glasgow, and it's advanced physiotherapy. And what they would do is they would assess Shay. They would teach the parents how to do the next set of exercises, and then for the following 4 months, the parents had to spend 4 hours a day with Shay doing the exercises. Now that's an incredible amount of time and dedication for anybody, never mind the parents, to give Shay progression. That's what that has done in the first 2 years is it's developed the skeletal structure for Shay, which has allowed him to hold his head up. Not all the time, but and he's starting to make some noises now and sounds and giggles and laughter. We're now looking at the second stage where the treatment is done by a Scottish Cerebral Palsy Association called BOBAF, and the next stage is to try to get Shay to sit up.
Right.
It's a very slow process, but
yeah.
But
Okay.
it has been progress. Amazing.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to hear that there's, he's kind of able to hold his head up. I know I've had 2 children. I've got a 1-year-old, and I know it's like, with the things we take for granted. Just feeding a child is so important for their health, for them to sit up and feed. So that's good, Andrew. In terms of obviously Mark's given us a bit of details on what's happening with the treatment and stuff. So, any details that we should be aware of in terms of the funding, the charity that's going on, the fundraising and all that sort of stuff?
So there's been a number of initiatives over the last few years that, as Mark said, I think raised about £9,000 or £10,000, I suppose, through silly little competitions online where, last man standing as an example, the ability to just choose a team from 10 fixtures that will win, dead easy, you would think, as long as your team wins, you carry on. The obvious, Man City are going to beat Swansea or something. Doesn't happen, so anyway, a simple thing like that was raised, as I say, about £9,000-10,000, and I suppose about 2 years ago, Mark and myself were fortunate enough to be at one of the charity nights at Celtic Park, and something came to Mark after that actually, which put us on an 18-month journey. And it was because there was 5 Celtic club captains were actually in the room that night at that charity night. Was it only 3? Oh, is it 3?
Wow.
But Tommy Burns, Paul McStay, Tommy Boyd, Paul McStay, and was Billy there? Jackie. But we had access, so Jackie McNamara. So anyway, the concept came about getting together the last 11 Celtic captains to sign tops. So that journey is a story in itself.
Okay.
Some of the stories we could be talking all day about some of the goodness of some of the captains, and then the sort of reluctance of some of the captains, dare I say it. But anyway, on the whole, very positive. But over 18 months, effectively, 2 Celtic tops, a home top and an away top, have been signed by the last 11 Celtic captains, spanning 53 years of our history.
And just quickly, you've got to say, even though there was 3 captains there that night, the ideas came up the next day, so we still started with 0.
Well, true. Yeah, that's very true. So lots of miles, including getting Roy Aitken while he was in to get his medical to continue working in the Middle East in London,
right?
And a cup of tea that cost about £30 for Mark. But anyway, that's a separate story.
That's some cup of tea.
So there's a whole story going to come out. Mark's going to write a novel on it. To be honest with you, he's got to get the skeleton of the model, the book together, as it were. But we're going to write the story. We've got the 2 tops. We've had a very generous offer for those 2 tops, which we respectfully declined. our intention for those tops, and it was a lot of the focus of Walk with Shay, because we knew the value, the potential value in these items. One is going to go to raffle, which will be we want as many Celtic supporters to have the opportunity to own this top. If you have a look at the Twitter account and look at the pictures at Walk with Shay, you'll see the end product. The tops are both framed. We've had professional framers and graphic designers.
I think I've seen the images. I sent the images around some of the guys in Hail Media and stuff, and we had a look at them. They looked, from what I could see, I mean, to have even one of those signatures on a shirt, but oh my goodness, to have all of those is just incredible. So they look very nice. I have to say, I don't think I could possibly even get close to how much it's going to take to get them over to New Zealand. But don't
worry about that.
I'm going to try my hand anyway. It's not going to stop me. I'll chuck my bid in.
The raffle's is a big thing, because and raising awareness about the raffle is going to be a big thing as well. So thanks for the support to yourself, Ewan, for allowing us the opportunity to let your listeners know all about it. If people are on Twitter, they can, as I say, follow us at Walk with Shay. We're on Facebook. There's a Facebook page as well. If you search for Walk with Shay, you'll be able to find out information on there, and we can be emailed as well at walkwithshay@yahoo.com. So there's lots of ways to get in touch with us, but we're hoping to engage with as many Celtic supporters clubs and associations and media outlets as possible, and get a commitment from. The numbers are running about in our heads at the moment, but let's just say 50 organisations willing to sell 67 tickets, or 88 organisations willing to sell 67.
So it's a raffle. I didn't realise that. I thought it was going to be perhaps an auction. That's why I was saying I wouldn't be able to keep up with the bidding. I'm sure if it was an auction, the bidding would go. But it is a raffle. Okay, my apologies. I understand.
One raffle, one top at the moment is definitely going to be raffled. And the other top, we are looking for a suitable event now. Part of our marketing and our promotion on this is that we're looking to also be able to donate some of the money that we raise to the Celtic Charity Foundation, the official Celtic Foundation. So again, that will hopefully help us get some publicity and raise awareness again at the appropriate time. But we're looking to find a suitable event where the second top could be auctioned. Now, obviously, our intention is that we've got a kind of concept of the value that we want from it, and if it doesn't make it at auction, then we could have a second raffle. We're officially applying for the license to run raffles legally, so everything's above board. There's a full audit trail, etc. So,
I think we could possibly. I reckon that somewhere in the Arab Emirates there's a mad Middle Eastern Tim out there sitting on an oil field who's just Celtic daft and has no idea that this is happening. So, and he's probably one of my biggest supporters and listeners, whatever. So, if you're listening out there, just this is it, man. Just let's get the word out there, man. There's Celtic supporters all over the world, as we all know, and I'm sure some of them are sitting on a gold mine. So, come on, get your wallets out. I'm saying this to everybody, but somebody I've got no doubts that somebody out there will be going nuts to get hold of that thing, because it's I've never seen I've never heard of a shirt signed by all captains for the last 50 years. That's quite an incredible thing to own,
And the other thing, in why we talked about the raffle, is whilst we want some mad Tim in an oil field to give us lots of money, we also want some other mad Tim to win the other top for £5, because there's too many times in we've been to a lot of these events, and a lot of people just they're kicked out straight away because they can't afford it. So the other part behind this was, well, somebody can win it for £5 as well, hence the raffle. But obviously that takes a lot more work. But then that spreads awareness. So that's our concept behind having one for auction potentially, and definitely one for raffle.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. I mean, you've got one for raffle, and the other one, well, you're going to try and raise the profile. Fantastic.
I should have got a third one for myself and one for Andy.
Yeah, I think I'll take the sleeve with somebody's signature on it. I don't care. I'll take the collar. Fantastic. It's just brilliant. It's good. I'd like to find out who the reluctant captain was, and we'll bombard his account with some abuse. That's just not on. But fantastic.
I'm sure you could guess it, and it'll come out. It'll come out in the story.
But we've done a whole walk with Shay formalised. We've got there's other guys that have been supporting us in the campaign, and they've become part of the team. One of the guys is a framer, and has been a brilliant supporter. He's helped us out framing other things that we've got, which we'll talk about just in a second. And there's another guy who runs a shop that sells framed tops and memorabilia and stuff like that. And these guys have been brilliant. So we can't. And also we've got a graphic designer who does all the stuff free of charge. Brilliant supporter, very talented guy. Loves to sit in the background and just see the fruits of his labour become reality. In regards to, I'll design a little flyer for you, and then all of a sudden it's dropped on 100 tables at a Celtic charity event.
Fantastic.
Celtic Park, and these guys have been absolutely fantastic. So it's not just about Mark and myself, and it'll not be about us in any shape or form. But the most important people is Shay and his family, and that's our focus of attention. But we've done things. We went to when the guy who runs the shop, he had a wee opening event, and Bertie Auld was there, and Bertie was signing little prints of himself, and they were selling them off, and we got one, and they donated one to us, and we stuck it on Twitter as a little auction just to raise a bit of no, I'll tell you what happened was we at random got Lisa Haig, Chris Commons' partner, to choose one of our followers to win it, just as an incentive to get more followers on Twitter. And the guy that won it donated it back and says, "Can you auction it?" And then, lo and behold, it goes to auction on Twitter, and that raised, what was it, Mark? £285.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we had a spare ticket for the Barcelona game, which we gave away a print, and the person that bid the most for the print got the Barcelona ticket. Well, it went from a guy who had his bid outed a couple of times, went up. We ended up with 3 guys who had bid on it. 2 of them returned the ticket, and a total of £485 or something was raised. Just simple things,
yeah, of course.
Which and the generosity of folk, giving us £200 and not even wanting the ticket, and fantastic. It's just, and we've had another couple of campaigns that are, have got their own things. Contact us and say, we'd really love to support you. Give me your bank details and I'll do a transfer just now. And we should never be surprised. I am always amazed at the generosity of not just the Celtic family. We've got supporters of all different teams supporting and following the Walk Shay campaign.
That's right, of course.
And we absolutely love it. But the Celtic family are beyond anything that you could compare it with. There is not there's not a movement like it when it comes to supporting really good causes, and as I said, I should never be surprised, but I am all the time at the generosity of the support.
Yeah, I would like. I mean, on you go, Mark.
Just the other thing that we've done on the back, and this is just sort of emphasises Andy's story, is there was a lad on Celtic Quick News, very quiet lad, and I'd asked, and I found out he was a painter or a drawer. He's a warehouse operator by his full-time occupation, and he's done, I don't know if you've seen the picture of the club captain's prints, and he's actually hand-drawn the 11 club captains for us, and we've got that in an A0 print, and it's absolutely fantastic, or drawn, and we actually ran prints of that before Christmas, and we were selling them, so we've sold a lot of them. We've given a few of them away, so they're still available as well.
Okay.
But the detail and the generosity of the person to actually do the drawing was totally amazing, and it just emphasises what Andy was saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. The good thing, I guess, now in this era that we're in is with social media, is that you've got an amazing platform for people who have got a creative talent. So people doing things like prints or images or photographs or whatever it is that they're doing. They've got a platform to promote that, and using that platform, it works both ways, because they can link it into something like this, which goes beyond just somebody showing off their talent. It's actually saving someone's life, which, if we look at Celtic as a football club, it is at the very, very core. When you strip away all the layers, at the very, very heart of our club, that's what it's about. It's about thinking about other people, and that's, I think, one of the main reasons that we all love the club. We all love the Lisbon Lions. We love the stories. We love the players. We love the glory, But what we really love is for me anyway, and I think I speak for most Celtic supporters, are stories like this, where you've got people from all walks of life going out of their way and giving tickets back and saying, look, this top or this signature or this autograph or this 1 in a million item I've got, take that back, because that's not important. What's important is that this wee guy is going to make it, and the parents are going to see him grow up, are going to have a life of some quality, and that, at the end of the day, that you don't put a value on that, and there's no, you can't. How could you put a value on that? So to yourselves, I take my hats off to you guys for doing what you've done in the past. I know yourself, Mark, you've done previous stuff. You're involved with Oscar, Oscar Knox, and yourself, Andrew, for taking time out to drive the fundraising forward and stuff. It's incredible. But like you said to me, I shouldn't be surprised. You catch yourself looking at the food bank drives, the stuff the Green Brigade have done, and everything around the club. So yeah, it's even when you see things like Oscar passing away, there's still something always positive and good around the club, and it's brilliant to hear all these little stories and tales. So, but I think before we kind of move towards the kind of end of this extra episode, if there's anything that you want to put out there for people, any events coming up, obviously, Andrew, you gave some details of the website and the Twitter page, where if people want to directly, I know there's a donation page where people can directly donate. What's the easiest way for people to just give money if they want to just give £2, £1, £5, whatever? Where can they go to give money to help the family?
There's a Just Giving pages. No, I was going to say there's a Just Giving page as well.
Okay.
I'm not sure, there's quite a long address on it, but I think if you search for what's it? I can't remember the title of it, Mark. Have you got the?
It's justgiving.com /crowdfunding /Walk with Shay.
Okay.
So yeah, search for Walk with Shay on the Just Giving page.
Okay. Yeah.
We've also got a bank account as well, so if they just send us, they can tweet and we can send them details, or Facebook or email, and we can send them the details.
I'm looking at the link now, guys, and I can see if it's wrong, then I'm sure you'll correct me. So you're right. It's www.justgiving.com. It's linked. If you go to What Was Shay Twitter, it's right there. You click on it. It's very, very, very easy to donate. It's a very straightforward process. It takes less than a minute or a couple of minutes, whatever. I'm just looking at the total at the moment. So the current target is £10,000. Is that correct? What's sitting there? Am I right?
Yep. Yeah, we just put a figure on as something to focus on rather than it being the definitive total, if you understand.
Okay, and we're currently sitting at 1,425. So this is the way I see it, guys. You know, I started this podcast because I love the club, and I don't. None of us should do these podcasts. This isn't YouTube. We're not living the glamorous life of YouTubers. None of us are getting paid for this, and I don't think any of us are really looking to get paid. If it happens one day, then fantastic. My missus will forgive me for shutting myself in a cupboard with a microphone for 3 hours every night and giving me a dirty look when I come to bed at 11 o'clock. But yeah, look, I got quite a few downloads. I know some of the more popular podcasts on Hail Media, and even the other podcasts out there as well. Guys, we're talking about a target of 10,000. Times are hard, but you know, we've seen the food bank drive. We've seen what goes on certainly around Celtic Park and that part of Glasgow. Times are very, very tough. People are struggling to keep the lights on, for want of a better phrase, but there's enough people out there, certainly from my listeners anyway, and I would like to think that we're all touched by the story. So if I could just, I'm saying this, just to, I guess, not put pressure, but just to say to folk, look, do what you can, get on that page and try and donate, guys. That would mean the world to the family and to everybody involved. So that's my 2 cents. Now I'll shut up and let you guys finish.
No, I don't think we can really add much more to it. I think if just to reiterate, our kind of main medium at the moment is Twitter. If anyone that listens to podcasts usually are kind of fairly active in the kind of social media circles. So at Walk with Shay, and give us a follow. We follow back as well, and you'll find all about all the news regarding the raffles, potential auctions, other items that are available. As Mark was talking about, the hand drawing of the captain's top, the captains themselves, etc. There'll be more activities over the coming months. So if you can follow us on there, and if you can donate, you can donate. We don't, we're a pound, as Ewan says, a pound is not a lot of money.
They can.
As to some.
They can. Come on, man. You know what I mean? A pound. Just get to it.
But no, we love the support. We're overwhelmed, genuinely overwhelmed by the level of support and encouragement we've had, and that'll keep driving us forward to ensure that Shay and his family are well catered for. I mean, one thing I don't know, Mark, we managed to get some nice presents. I mentioned earlier on, just to close on this, Ewan, I said earlier on, it's not all about, it is about Shay, but sometimes the parents are unfortunately, they become isolated in this. So one of the things that we've done at Christmas was get Mary a top signed by our favourite Celtic player, Scott Brown, and the inscription on it was, "To Mary, lots of love, Scott Brown." And also Tam, we got a top signed by Super Lee, and again inscribed to Tam, all the best, Lee Griffiths. The guys were absolutely delighted, that we took the time out and the thought process to actually think of them, and we just want them to know that we're here for them, and we will continue to be here for them as long as we can, God willing. And so, a nice wee happy ending story.
Aye,
so
good.
Mary.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys. I know you've probably got a busy day ahead of you. I'm heading into towards bedtime over here in New Zealand. Listen, it's been fantastic for coming on. Anything that we can do to support you further, just let me know. I'd really love to get an update, maybe a few months down the line, and just check in and see how everything's going with the family and with Shay. But look, hats off to you guys for everything you're doing, and all the best to Shay and his family. Thinking of them, they're in our thoughts and prayers, and I'm sure that they're going to get all the treatment and support that they need from the Celtic family. So thanks for your time today, gents.
Thank
you. Cheers,
Thank you.
I'll speak to you again. Okay.
Alrighty.